All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk NFL Week 8. Hold on, let me make sure I got the phone. It's in the corner of the room charging. One second. Okay, we're good to go. I got the phone if you guys want to call in. But NFL Week 8, that's what we're going to talk about. I put out all the notes today for basketball, hockey. I got the college football notes out last night. I hope somebody took advantage of that Kansas State upset because I had a note in there why it looked very possible in light of it being the day leaving 66 days left in the year. But and the MLB notes are in there too. So if you go to the post I put out earlier today, you'll find it's just below this post on the Patreon wall. NBA, NHL, MLB. It's all there. And I'd prefer if you guys just called in about football while we decode football. And once we finish, if you want to call in about something else, that's fine too, because we didn't do our typical live stream. But anyhow, let's get into it. NFL Week 8. In the chat, I saw somebody mention that Donald Trump's supposed to be at Game 5. I saw that story too, and that's one that makes you go, It's just like the year Alabama beat Clemson, Donald Trump announced on January 3rd that he was going to go to the game, and that date can be written 1-3 or 3/1, and Alabama equals 13-31. And ESPN gave the Crimson Tide a 57% chance to win that year, and Crimson Tide equals 57. Anyway, NFL Week 8, Thursday Night Football. Remember, we were looking for numbers connected to 8, such as 19, the 8th prime. Thought the Vikings would win this one, not that it was that hard of a call. But Callahan, the coach of the Vikings, got his 19th regular season loss, 19, the 8th prime, Week 8. That made perfect sense. The final score of the game was 19 points. And Zimmer's record made sense with a W as well. So, Seahawks at Falcons. Interesting game here. If Seattle lost, they'd be 5-3 in the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 53. If the Falcons lost, they'd fall to 1-7. Atlanta, Georgia is 59, the 17th prime. Notice, though, that the Falcons can improve to 2-2 at home on the 22-date numerology big football number. Remember, October 27th is the 300th day of the year, leaving 65 days remaining because Bill Belichick's going for his 300th career win against the team he originally coached for, the Cleveland Browns. But Seattle, they are 10-6 versus the Falcons, and they have a nice winning record at the Falcons. They're 5-2 there. If the Seahawks did lose, they would be 10-7. Seattle's 107. They'd be 10-7, like 107. And what's interesting about the name of the stadium is it does equal 206, which is the Seattle area code 206. If the Falcons lost, they'd be 2-6 at home versus Seattle. They've been, you could almost say, dominated at home. I mean, they've lost 2.5 games for every one they've won at home. What's interesting is somebody pointed this out last week after the game was played. I went back and verified it is true. The Falcons are 10-9 in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the newer stadium. Mercedes-Benz Stadium equals 109. If they won this game this week, they'd be 11-9, and Falcons equals 119. Just like how Dan Quinn's birthday is September 11th, the year they went to the Super Bowl, their first game was on September 11th. That was the opening Sunday of that week. So you could make an argument either way in the head record. I think the 107, though, is the stronger riddle. And it is interesting, again, that the Falcons can become 11-9 in that stadium. Keep in mind, Seattle equals 19. It's the only city that does. Seattle equals 19. Saints equals 19. They're the only teams that have connections to 19. But 19 is the 8th prime number, Week 8. Wilson is on 38 regular season losses. Falcons does equal 38. But he's also 34, 24, and 1 away. Falcons equals 34 and 25. Those were the big numbers in Super Bowl 51. Or excuse me, Super Bowl 51. Super Bowl 51, which they lost. So he could become 34 and 25 away with a loss. And It's usually the QB riddles are the ones that come through. The only thing I can say for the Seahawks that looks positive for them is that if they won, they'd be 6-2, and they play the most 62 team in the league next, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers equals 62, and Buccaneers is 62. But when I've ignored QB riddles this year, and I've looked ahead at how the record would line up with the next opponent, I've gone wrong there more often than I've gone right. So it's usually the QB record that makes the most sense. And on the Falcons side of the ball, Matt Ryan, the game's 163 days after his birthday. That's the 38th prime number. Falcons is 38. And again, Russell Wilson's on 38 losses in the regular season. But Dan Quinn, who began coaching with Seattle, he's going for his 38th regular season win. So I think that's interesting how it's X amount of days after Matt Ryan's birthday, and then Dan Quinn can get that 38th win 163 days after his QB. So Ryan's on 107 all-time wins. That is the Seattle number. I'd rather look at the regular season stats, though. I guess I see something there that I should have punched in. Hold on. I see one thing that could go against Ryan. Let me update that. All right, I'll just make the note about Seattle. But what I see that could go against him is 79, 22nd prime. He could get his 79th loss in the regular season on the 22 date numerology. So, but usually the Gematria trumps the date numerology. Clete Blakeman's the ref, number 34. Falcons equals 34. The Seahawks are 2-6 with Clete Blakeman. They could fall to 2-7 on the 27th of the month. And the Falcons are 5-3 with Blakeman. Caller?
Hey, Ryan's not playing. Schaub's playing.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I missed that. Is Matt Ryan hurt or benched?
No, they're saying he's hurt.
I did not realize that.
You're the backup.
Yeah, okay, well, I got to fix that. That makes a big difference then. All right, let me see what's up with Matt Schaub. Appreciate it.
Okay, you got it.
All right, thanks, man. How did I miss that? Falcons, Week 8, starting QB. All right, so Matt Schaub. Okay, let me get this corrected then. So his birthday is June 25th. Maybe Matt Schaub, yeah, you're the backup. Maybe he'll bring new life to the Seahawks. All right, it's 124 days, or his 125th day of his age. Well, that messes up the Matt Ryan pairing with Quinn. Schaub's birthday. All right, let me get his stats real quick. He used to be the QB for the Texans, where the Falcons lost their Super Bowl to the Patriots. All right, Schaub. All right, so Schaub, take out all of Ryan's stats. Schaub is 48-46 and 28-17 at home. That's all time. And in the regular season, pretty sure Schaub's been to the playoffs before. 47-45. And 27-17 at home. Well, what I can say about that is Seahawks equals 48, like how they won Super Bowl 48. So he could pick up his 48th regular season win. Seattle also equals 28. He could get his 28th home win. So Schaub actually has decent numbers for this game. if the Falcons didn't win this game, what would be just a right-in-your-face narrative is if the Falcons lost and Dan Quinn got fired, and be like, okay, full circle. Because he began his coaching career with the Seahawks. But it's hard to go against the Falcons in this game. Even as bad as they've played, as awful as they've looked, it could be the year of the backup QB. Again, Seahawks lose. They're 10-7 versus the Falcons. Seattle 107. That number plays with them. Falcons getting to 11-9 in their new stadium makes sense. Russell Wilson becoming 34-25 away with a loss makes sense. And now seeing that Schaub can get his 48th win. When was the last time Matt Schaub started? I haven't heard his name for a minute. Let me just see what they say about this coming in. For the first time since 2009, Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan will miss a game on Sunday. Ryan has been ruled out of Sunday's game against the Seahawks as a result of an ankle injury. He had a streak of 154 consecutive games. 163 counting the playoffs. Isn't that funny? And it was 163 days after his birthday. Same number we were just talking about. Looks like more of a ritual here to me. I gotta remember this article. So he's not gonna play 163 days after his birthday, ending his streak at 163. Amazing. The 38-year-old Schaub. Falcons is 38. Caller?
Schaub can also get his 49th all-time win on the 49 day, and Washington is 49 as well.
Oh, yeah, Washington State, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yep.
All right, appreciate it, man. Yep. All right, I'm going to put this note in here because this is definitely a ritual. Ryan's streak of 163 straight games is snapped. Hold on. 163 days after. Why is my computer so fried? Come on. All right, hold on. Let's try that again. 163, 38th prime. Falcons equals 38. Matt Schaub is 38 years old. Color is right. It is 49 date numerology. Washington, the state Seattle's from, is also 49. But again, it's usually the regular season stats. Through his regular season stats, he doesn't have a bad riddle. So it does line up on both sides for the Falcons to win this game. It's just there's a part of me that's having trouble having confidence in the Falcons. And again, this ref, Clete Blakeman, Seahawks are 2-6 with Blakeman. Game's on the 27th of the month. They could fall to 2-7 on the 27th. Falcons are 5-3 with Blakeman. So I don't see the ritual with that. But riddles line up on both sides for Falcons to upset Seahawks. Best case, or I'll just say best riddle for Hawks is going into Tampa Bay 6-2. But again, like I said, this year where I've been like, I'm not sure about, like, where I haven't trusted the numbers and I've gone with something like how it would match up the week ahead. That's where I've gotten burned. So I mean, the consistent thing is when it lines up with the quarterbacks, that's usually the way it plays out. And it looks like Schaub is in there, very possibly for this reason. So, and Dan Quinn can get his 38th win with a 38-year-old quarterback. I'm surprised there's not something more interesting with Schaub's birthday. 124 days, or his 125th day of his age. All right, so that's that game. The Eagles at the Bills game. You got 49 and 22 date numerology. Eagles is 49 and 22. You got 65 days left in the year. Philadelphia is 65. So you got Philadelphia numbers for the date. The Eagles are 7 and 6 versus the Bills in the regular season. They're 3 and 4 at the Bills. What stands out here is Wentz could get his 27th win. He could get number 27. Buffalo's 27, and it's the 27th of the month. What could go against him is picking up his 22nd loss on the 22 date numerology. But typically the Gematria trumps the date numerology. So getting the 27th win against Buffalo, especially since it's the 27th of the month, that makes some sense. And the Eagles play Chicago next. If they lost, they'd be 3 and 5. Chicago does equal 35, and the 35 does play a lot harder than the 44, but Chicago does equal 44 as well because it has an H in it. Again, in reverse gematria, in the reduction cipher, H can be worth 1 or 10. Just like in the regular reduction cipher, it's S that can be worth 1 or 10. They're the 19th letters in the respective orders. So, through Wentz, decent riddle for the Eagles to get the W. And then on the other side, Josh Allen could get his 8th loss in Week 8. And if McDermott lost, the Bills coach, he'd get his 19th regular season loss. 19's the 8th prime, Week 8. So you have 8s going against the Eagles QB and coach. Buffalo is 2 and 1 at home this year. 22 date numerology. Eagles 22 in the most pure cipher. Eagles does also equal 31 because it has an S in it. But in light of the date numerology and Eagles being more pure, I think it looks a little bit better here for the Eagles. Eagles didn't look good last week. They'd have to have a bounce back week. Bills have been really tough at home. But numbers don't look bad for the Eagles. So riddle looks stronger for Eagles. Only concern is them going into Chicago 3 and 5. But gotta trust the QB stats. It's usually where it is. Also, with regards to the ref, the Bills are 2 and 2 with this ref. And the Eagles are 4 and 0 with this ref, undefeated. And as I say that, let me check something real quick. Does Eagles? No. Okay. But Eagles are 4 and 0 with John Hussey. Bills are 2 and 2 with Hussey. Okay. The Chargers and the Bears game. Speaking of Chicago in 35. Oh, hold on, we got a call here. Caller?
Zach, what up, man?
What's up?
Yeah, I'm thinking Buffalo actually wins this game because Allen's record right now it's 10 and 7. He can go 11 and 7, like 1-1-7. Buffalo Bills is.
That's true. That is true. Buffalo. I'm glad you caught that. Buffalo Bills is 1-1-7. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what I've noticed too is when all those numbers line up for a team, right? Like Eagles equals 22 and all those numbers, that actually goes against the team. So that's what I've noticed. So just because, the date numerology is 49 and 22 doesn't mean that the Eagles are going to win that day. It's actually like signifying that's who's going to get the
I'd say it's
loss.
about 50-50. I've never said that it signifies who's going to win or lose, but just the fact that they can become 2 and 2 at home.
Right.
What I haven't seen, though, what I can't think of this year is a game where the numbers lined up with the QB and the coach, and the riddle didn't pan out. Because you got 8s for McDermott and Allen if they lose.
Right. One thing that I do know though is that Buffalo is definitely a better team this year than the Eagles. They're 5-1, and a lot of people are doubting them in the mainstream media. They don't think that they're really a good team. And there's also an article on NFL.com about that. I just think that they're gonna make Buffalo like a playoff team this year.
I think so too. You know what? You know what I forgot that I said last week. Now, I'm glad you brought this up because last week I said if the Bills win this week, they can become 6-1 against Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is 61. So
Right.
I did yeah, that's an important thought. Actually, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think that they're actually gonna make them either be a wild card or challenge New England, even though New England's not gonna lose, but they're gonna definitely challenge New England for the division. So, yeah, I like the Bills this week.
Yeah, I'm glad you made the point about 117, and I forgot that last week I made that point about them becoming 6-1 against Philadelphia. Because you're right, they definitely are the better team, and the Eagles did not look good last week. But that's also how they get better, is because they're like, Bills are rolling and Eagles don't look good. So
Yeah. All right, man.
All right, appreciate it. Okay, he does make some great points there, and Philadelphia in 61 is a number that plays hard. And I don't know how I forgot to say that before. All right, hold on. Bills can improve to 6-1. All right. Shoot. It's tough though because just like how last week we went with the numbers that lined up was 7, and those riddles came through for us overwhelmingly, especially in the morning. And I don't know what it is about the NFL, but the morning games are usually more consistent than the afternoon games. I don't know if like Vegas is reshuffling the deck in the afternoon based on how the morning games went or what it is, but yeah, this game is I'm gonna think about it more. I'm gonna say I'm neutral. He made a good point, the caller, and I did say last week that if the Bills won, they could become 6-1 against Philly, and somehow I forgot that. So if they lost, they'd be 5-2, like how the Eagles won Super Bowl 52. Yeah, this one's tough because Wentz does have that narrative for getting the 27th win over Buffalo on the 27th of the month. All right, we'll come back to that one. The Chargers and the Bears, they're calling for Trubisky to be benched, and he's on 18 wins with the Bears, and Bears is 18 in the most pure cipher. So I'm wondering if he's going to be stuck on it. He didn't pick it up last week against the Saints. Saints one of 2 teams with a 19 connection. So the Chargers are 5-7 versus the Bears. If the Bears lost, they would become 7-6 versus the Chargers on 76 date numerology. If the Bears won, they'd be 8-5, like reminiscent of their only Super Bowl season, the 1985-86 season. National Football League's 85. Chicago's the birthplace of the NFL. The Chargers are 1-4 at the Bears. They've struggled there. And actually, I think I should have wrote something. All right, so the thought with that is Chargers equals 47, the 15th prime if they fell to 1-5. Phillip Rivers, he can get his 55th career away loss. Chicago Bears is 55 in the most pure cipher. Lynn can get his 18th regular season loss. Bears is 18 in the most pure cipher. So that's pretty incriminating for the Chargers. If they lose, they'll be 2-6. Bear, the singular, is 26. If they won, of course, they'd be 3-5. Chicago's 35. This game's on the 27th. I guess I should just make the point that Bears also equals 27. Okay. And then from the Bears' perspective, Trubisky, he didn't get 19 against a good opponent last week. Maybe it's because they were going to make him wait till week 8. 19's the 8th prime. So you can make an argument with him getting his 19th win in week 8. Prime number relationship. And if he does win, he'd be 11-7 at home. Illinois is 117. If he lost, he'd get his 8th loss at home in week 8. So that's one other way to consider it. And let me see. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, how do you feel about square root numbers? How does that play with this?
Like
Gematria?
49 has a square root of 7. The 49ers could become 7-0.
Well, no, I wasn't even looking at that. A few games where I just saw square root numbers kept popping up, like in that Eagles game, like how Bills equals 36, reverse full reduction, and Buffalo equals 36, reverse full reduction, the square root of 6. Philly could stay on 6 losses against the Bills.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I've noticing stuff like that. What's another game? With the Falcons game, too. You know, Falcons equals 25, square root, right, is 5. You know, Seattle could stay on those 5 wins at Atlanta.
Yeah, it is a thought, but eventually they would get off it, right? They're not going to be on it forever.
No, I know. I was just wondering, just your thought on, like, if they even play with square root numbers. You know what I mean?
I can't think of a lot of observations that I've ever made with square root numbers. It's usually prime numbers and sometimes triangular numbers and sometimes Fibonacci numbers, but usually the prime numbers.
Okay. For Philly's head coach, though, he could pick up that 33rd win. New York equal 33.
Yeah.
Even though I know they're not called New York, but they in New York. So.
Right. Yeah, I got that note too.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah. All right. Good thought. Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I think the Eagles-Bills game's pretty dangerous. It is. But I'm not going to be surprised either way. I'm not going to be surprised. All right. So Chargers and Bears, again, the coach and the QB have numbers going against them. Rivers get that 55th away loss. Chicago Bears 55, most pure cipher. Lincoln get that 18th regular season loss. Bears 18, most pure cipher. Trubisky, the 8 can go former against him. He either gets his 19th regular season win or his 8th home loss. For his all-time stats, only the 19 could go in his favor. The 8's already there. So Matt Nagy could pick up his 8th loss in the regular season or stay on 8 all-time losses. Ultimately, when I look at this is the strongest riddle I see. Rivers picking up that 55th away loss and Lynn getting the 18th loss versus the Bears. If the Bears do lose, it'll probably be the last week Trubisky's in there because that's the storyline for the national media is the Bears need to move on. He's holding their team back. Notice if the Bears win, they'll be 4-3. Chargers is 43 like football. The Chargers narrative would be to become 3-5 because Chicago's 35. So either way, the team's record can make sense, but I think the strongest riddles are right here. So I'm going to take the Bears. Usually when the QB and the coach line up, and again, I can't think of a time this year where we didn't have a riddle with the QB and coach where it didn't come through. There might have been one, but overwhelmingly that's been a great sign. The Giants and Lions game. This one's a little bit tricky here. The Giants are 21-22-1 versus the Lions. So we have 22 date numerology. So they could even it up 22-22 on the 22 date numerology. That's one thought. Daniel Jones is 2-3 as a starter and 1-1 away. If he lost, he'd become 2-4. Lions is 24 in the most pure cipher, and he'd become 1-2 away. Detroit's 37 in the most pure cipher, which is the 12th prime. So using the most pure numbers doesn't look good for Jones. However, Lions does have an S, so it is also 33, and New York's 33 as well, the team he plays for. And G-Man, the nickname for the Giants, is 21 as well. So based on the opponent, it looks more like he would lose, but if you can also make the argument because of the team he plays for. Shermer, his next win is 18. Detroit Lions is 61, the 18th prime. He could also get his 8th win with the Giants in Week 8. And for Stafford, I didn't really see anything great in his stats. He's already on 39 home wins. That's all time. New York's 39, but he's on 39 home wins in the regular season as well. He's on 78 losses at the same time. New York's 39 and 78. I suppose if he lost, 79's the 22nd prime, 22 date numerology, and if the Lions did lose, it would even up the series at 22-22. Stafford comes in 2-2 versus the Giants. Patricia's on 8 wins. He could stay on 8 in week 8. Let me see again who the Lions play next week. Lions got the Raiders next week. Okay, so hold on, we got a call here. Caller?
Lions traded away one of their key guys. I think he was a captain. This guy named Diggs. He was a safety. And the players are very pissed off about this.
Okay. All right. So, interesting. Okay, I'll look at that.
Okay.
All right, thanks, man. Okay. Look up that story if it's a clue here. Oh, hold on, we got another call first. Caller?
Hey, Zach, don't forget that Ford Field is 79 and 22nd prime.
That's a good catch. That's a good catch.
And I think that 22 date play heavy this week too, Zach. Because if you look at a lot of the matchups, a lot of teams are 1-2 away or 2-1 home. So I did a little parlay just with all the teams at 1-2, 2-1, going to 2-2. Because I don't know, you never know. But I just thought about that.
The trick with that one is either one of these teams could become 2-2 in their respective. Giants could become 2. You're right. So
right, which is why I like that Ford Field. Because that actually gives us some gematria with it, and that helps them with the Giants all time and the regular season. That 22. So
it would play more for them. You're right about that.
Yeah. So just a thought.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Good thought.
Problem.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's right. Ford Field 79. Yeah, right on. So, and we saw that Stafford, he could get his 79th loss. So, I mean, the 22 does play harder for the Giants. Giants could even it up 22-22. Stafford could get that 79th loss. Let me look up this trade here. Lions trade. Quandre Diggs, okay. Is he the player that had the pick 6 on what day was he traded? Oh, he got traded to the Seahawks, huh? They're 26, playing in the 206. Let me see what this guy's name, Gematria, is. Quandre Diggs, 126. What day was this trade? Tuesday. So 4 days ago. So, oh, they traded him on the 22nd, huh? 1022, like 122. Seattle's on the 122nd meridian. Just see if there's any clue in it. And he's born on January 22nd. There you go. 122. Huh. Got traded 39 weeks after his birthday. Isn't Lions 39? Never mind. No, it's not. Caller?
Hey, Zach, I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, there was a caller that said that Daniel Jones might go on a win streak after losing that 5th game because Daniel Jones is 45. So I'm thinking maybe they do win this week, and then next week they might upset the Cowboys.
Okay, your phone's really quiet, but you're thinking Daniel Jones equals 45, so maybe they have a shot at winning 2 games to get to 4-5.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of the media and everybody's thinking, that Daniel Jones is like the next big thing, so they're probably going to have him win a couple of games here.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting how a Duke quarterback's getting so much hype, but
Yeah. I like that 22 and 22 thing, so I think I'm going to lean on the Giants here this week.
all right, man. Sounds good. Appreciate it. Caller?
Yeah. Hey, Zach, I don't know where you are with the games. I don't know which game you're on, but I was looking at the Saints versus Cardinals game, and I was wondering what you think about the Cardinals upsetting the Saints.
You probably saw the prime number relationship if the Cardinals win and how it syncs up with New Orleans, Louisiana.
Uh-huh.
It is interesting. Yeah. It is interesting. Drew Brees' his all-time win number would sync up with Arizona Cardinals if he won, and they'd get to 7-1, like Catholic 71, and you got the 2 most Catholic teams. But what I was I'm not to that game yet, but when I got there, I was gonna advise to do a small parlay with the Cardinals because their record would be a perfect prime number relationship that's 83, like New Orleans, Louisiana, and football. It would be interesting because then they might be like, uh-oh, Breeze just lost to the Cardinals at home. Do they need to go back to Bridgewater? So,
okay, yeah, and okay, that's a good point. And one thing I was looking at that was really interesting, though. So the Cardinals are, I believe, they're 3-1. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay, so from Sean Payton's last birthday to the start of today's game is a span of 43 weeks and 1 day. So if the Cardinals win, they could become 4-3-1 on the season.
And 431's the 83rd prime. Like football is 83 and New Orleans, Louisiana is 83. Yeah, I was looking at that. So, yeah, I'm going to get to that game, though. But I think it might be worth a little. They'd be a great parlay multiplier because they're a major underdog. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll keep listening.
All right. See you, man. Yeah, this Giants-Lions game, it's really close. Because, again, you can make good sense out of Daniel Jones' record with a loss against the Lions. But if he wins, then it's a tribute to New York. Oftentimes, though, the records as they go, they're more about the teams they're facing. So, Shermer's record, though, is good for a win. And Patricia's staying on 8. So, I'll say very close. The 22 date numerology is more favorable for the Giants. Keep in mind, though, hold on. Caller?
You say Diggs got traded 39 weeks after his birthday?
Uh-huh.
Well, 39's in New York. Shermer has 39 losses.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that that could be the signal that he'll stay on it.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. I could see it.
No, just wanted to point that out there, the 39 thing.
All right, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All
right, see it. Okay. Again, Stafford can get that 79th regular season loss on the 22 date numerology. But the one way that the 22 could play for the Lions is okay. So, again, 22 date numerology, huge football number 22. If the Giants win, they'll even up the series at 22-22. So that really stands out. It's like, what are the odds of that? They're meeting on this perfect date. Daniel Jones, you can make an argument either way. Shermer looks a little bit better for a win. And Shermer's been pretty consistent this year with the teams he's faced, picking up wins and losses. Just like last week, picking up 39 against Arizona, staying on 7-17 in Week 7. So, Stafford, there's nothing real clear with him, but again, he could pick up that 79th regular season loss. That's the 22nd prime on the 22 date. And he comes in 2-2 versus the Giants for one more 22. So, Something. It looks like the Lions will lose next week at the Raiders because the Raiders can become 5-2 against the Lions at home. Raiders 52. That's usually a great number for them. And I was thinking if the Lions lost this week and next week, they would be 2-5-1, which is like 251, the 54th prime number. So you'd pay tribute to that number since this is the year of Super Bowl 54. Let me see who the Lions play after the Raiders. I forget who that was. I know they play the Lions or the Raiders next week. They play the Chicago Bears after that. I'm just thinking it's very possible they could be 3-5 in the win and loss column by the time they play Chicago. Chicago's 35. Guess they could upset Chicago there. So neither team has much experience with the ref. The Lions are 0-1 with this ref. It's the first game for the Giants with this ref. The Bucs and Titans game. So the Bucs are 2-9 versus the Titans. They've really struggled. The trick here is the game's in Nashville. Nashville's 39-102. So if the Titans win, they're 10-2. If the Bucs won, they'd be 3-9. The Bucs are 0-7 at the Titans in the regular season, which means they can lose their 8th straight there, right? So I would say that that's a streak of 8, Riddle, and so far the streaks of 8 have been perfect. Bucs can lose 8th straight in Tennessee, and this is week 8 too. Streaks of 8 have been very consistent in 2019, 8th prime. So that's the thing that stands out the most in this game, that they can lose their 8th straight game there. And let's see. The game's on Arian's 25th day of his age. Tampa Bay is 25. Winston's next win is 24. And he plays in Seattle next week, and Seahawks is 24 in the most pure cipher. It's hard for you to imagine the Bucs beating the Seahawks in Seattle unless Seattle's really going to fall apart. He's on 19 away losses as well, and 19's the 8th prime. So there are some things in Winston's stats that make me go, I think he'd be more likely to get his 24th win and stay on 24 against Seattle than win at Seattle. Having trouble with that. He'd also stay on 19 away losses going into Seattle because that's who they play next, and Seattle's 19. But this is where I've gotten into trouble this year when I look ahead and see how things line up nicely. But yeah, this one... So that's the narrative for the Bucs, is through Winston. He doesn't really have anything that syncs up so much with the Titans. It's just that if he doesn't lose this week, his record makes more sense going into Seattle. So Arians, he has 52 wins in the regular season, and he's 2-4 with Tampa Bay. Tennessee equals 34 and 52. Tennessee's 34, and if you do the rule with the S, it's 52. So he could become 3-4 with the Bucs, stay on 34 losses in the regular season, and get his 52nd win. But all of this would beat the streak of 8. And it's like, I haven't seen a streak of 8 getting beat, so it's tough. He could also fall to 2-5 with Tampa Bay, and of course Tampa Bay is 25. Tampa Bay Bucks also equals 34. And write that sentence more clearly. Okay. On the other side, Tannehill, he's 43-46 now, and He has 18 losses at home and 27 wins. He could stay on 27 wins on the 27th and pick up his 19th home loss. 19's the 8th prime. It's week 8. He'd pick up his 47th loss. Tampa Bay 47. Tennessee's also 47. And Titans is 43. So his record would be 43 and 47 like the team he plays for, Tennessee Titans. Caller?
Exactly. Help you out. That Tennessee Titans equals 20 full reduction. So Wesley could get that 20th away loss.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Good one.
Yep.
All right, appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah. This is very true. Titans is 20 in the most pure cipher. I guess it's possible. The Bucks beat the Rams in LA. They had a decent riddle though for that game. So, but yeah, that is true. Winston could get his 20th loss away against the Titans. Titans is 20 in the most pure cipher, and then that would fit in with the streak at 8. But Tannehill's numbers, they're not encouraging. They do not look positive at all. He could get that 19th loss in week 8, just like how the week 7 numbers were really strong with us. The prime numbers and the triangular numbers. For 9, the triangular number is 45. If you add 1 through 9 together, it's 45. Didn't really see a lot of 45s, though, but he could get that 19th home loss. So, and Vrabel, he's 12 and 11 as a coach. If he lost, he'd be 12 and 12. Buccaneers is 37, the 12th prime. In light of the 22 date numerology, Titans equals 79, the 22nd prime. Tampa Bay equals 79, the 22nd prime. The way the 22 would play in this game is if the Titans won. They'd be 2 and 2 at home, and the Bucks would fall to 2 and 2 away. So 22 really could be the number of the week. Getting 22 men on the field. Guess let's do it like that. So let's see. The ref on the field, neither team has had him as a ref before. He's a newer ref. So, no history there. But again, it's another streak of 8 thing. Could be the 8th straight loss in Tennessee. Those have been the riddles that have trumped all other riddles this year. So to not take that is a hard thing to do. Titans have been a funny team, though, this year. I guess you can make sense of Arians win or lose. Okay. Yeah, I'd be careful with this game. I wouldn't put this game in a parlay. Just even though the streaks of 8 have been great, unless you're doing like what the one caller said and just doing all the 22 riddles as a parlay in case they all hit. But the reason I wouldn't put this game in a parlay is just because Tannehill's numbers really concern me. Tannehill's numbers are not good for this week. Staying on 27 home wins on the 27th and picking up that 19th loss in week 8, I mean, that is not out of the question. So, and even though the streaks of 8 have been flawless, I feel like at some point there's going to be a game where it finally disappoints us. And I know I can't think of one. I'm pretty sure the streaks of 8 have been perfect this year. In NFL, NFL, MLB, they were great for us. So, not sure if that's going to hold up with the NBA and the NHL, but in the NFL, it's been awesome. Okay, the Broncos at the Colts. If the Colts win, they'll be 5-2. Indiana's 52. They'd become 3-1 at home over Denver. Denver's 31. But of course, here's another one of the 22 games. If the Broncos upset, both teams would be 2-2 in their respective away and home records. So that would have to be the Broncos narrative. the 22. The Broncos are 6-7 at the Colts. If they lost, they would be 6-8. They'd get their 8th loss in Week 8. And it would make sense because Denver's 68 and Broncos is 86. So the Colts would be 8-6 versus the Broncos. Denver would be 6-8 versus the Colts. This game's 66 days after the Broncos coach's birthday. Colts is 66. It's also his 67th day of his age. Denver 67. If Flacco loses, he will get his 49th away loss on a 49-date numerology. And if Flacco loses, he'll be 2-4 versus the Colts in the regular season. Colts equals 24. For Brissett, the concern with him is he can fall to 6-8 at home against Denver in Week 8. So you got to choose. Do you think it's going to be better for the overall record? Because, again, a lot of times it is QB driven. Brissett could fall to 6-8 at home. And if he did, both teams would become 2-2 in their respective home and away records. Again, if the Colts do win, though, they'll be 3-1 at home. Denver's 31. And if the Colts did win this week, they'd have a chance to become 6-2 next week at Heinz Field. Heinz Field, 62. Caller?
Hey, sorry, I know you're busy. You're the lunch here right now?
Yeah.
You got a chance to do the MLB game 4?
The notes are up on the Patreon wall. I guess I can pause and do it real quick. Since are you in the live stream?
No, I'm on the road.
Okay. It's a little bit dicey tonight. If Donald Trump announced he's going to go to Game 5, where the series could possibly be closed out, and the reason it's dicey tonight is if the Nationals win, they'll improve to 3-1 in the series. Houston's 31, and that number plays a lot with Houston 31. However, if Houston won, they'd be 4-3 away, and Astros is 43. DC is 4-3. But in light of Trump saying he's going to be at Game 5, I'm thinking that could be the signal that the Nationals might close it out 4-1. So, tight game though.
All right, I appreciate it. I'll take a look at the notes online.
Yeah, you'll find them. They're there. All right, see you, man.
Cool. I appreciate what you're doing, brother.
Yeah, welcome, man. Take care.
Thanks.
Yeah, last night, I mean, there was the one riddle for the Astros was that they could become 3-3 away, and Nationals is 33. I mean, it was there, but just everything else looked great for the Nationals last night. Like I said, though, if Houston wins, it makes the series more interesting, and that's what they want, viewer interest. So, anyway, the ref for this game is number 66, Walt Anderson. Colts equals 66, and the Colts are dominant with... Hold on. Let me make sure. There's a Walt Coleman and a Walt Anderson. I'm pretty sure I searched the right ref. Let me make sure I didn't screw this up real quick. Let me make sure that I got this right. Caller?
Thinking for Sunday's for tomorrow's game, if Washington wins tonight, perhaps we're going to see a lot of tributes for Washington in the NFL games. I think we got a 49 on the board in one of the games too, so perhaps it's something to pay attention to.
Okay. Well, I think that's what happened with the Thursday night game, again, the Minnesota-Washington game to start the week. So.
Yeah. I just I forgot which game it is. It's in one of the early games in Decode. It was a 4-9. Someone gonna become 49, 4-9, or something like that.
I'll go back over. I'll review everything at the end. Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
Zach.
All right. Thanks, man. See you.
Bye.
All right, hold on. Let me make sure I got this right. Okay, Week 8. Walt Anderson. Pretty sure I did it right. I think I just wrote Walt Coleman. Yeah. Yeah, this is right. Yeah, the Colts have absolutely dominated with this guy as the official. And I love that he wears jersey number 66. Yeah, this is... So I accidentally wrote Coleman, but I meant to write Walt Anderson. All right, let me... Okay, so... What's interesting about this one is if the Colts win with Walt Anderson, they'll get their 19th win with him. And realize when I'm counting up these stats, I'm only counting the years that they're referees. I'm not counting the years where they're line judge and side judge and all that. I'm just looking at the referee. And so anyway, Walt Anderson wears number 66, like Colts is 66. Colts are 18-3 with him on the field. So they can get the 19th win in Week 8. 19's the 8th prime. And if the Broncos lose, they'd stay on 8 wins with Walt Anderson. They're 8-4 with him. So... even though Brissett has this going against him, I still like the Colts here. I mean, the Colts look like a pretty good team. And the Colts are still a team that could shock everybody in the AFC. Do not forget that the Super Bowl is on Brissett's 54th day of his age. Backup equals 54. He's from Miami. In spring, we thought the best Super Bowl narrative was Saints and Colts, and it could still end up being that. So... Brissett's the one concern here, but everything else looks good for the Colts, and they're the better team. All right. But yeah, I got to go with the Colts narrative, especially with that ref on the field, because I mean, isn't that just like an incredible discrepancy? 18-3. That means they win 6 games for every 1 game they lose. Broncos have done well with him too. 8-4. That's not bad, but nowhere near what the Colts got going on. All right, the Bengals and the Rams. Bengals can lose their 8th straight game in 2019. That would be a streak of 8 right there. And the Rams can become 5-3 in Los Angeles. For some reason, ESPN is not updating the home and away record for these teams. I don't know why they're doing that, so I just put it up here manually. The Bengals are 0-4 away. LA's 14. That would be their narrative to upset to become 1-4. Rams are 1-2 at home. They could fall to 1-3. That's the big LA number, 13. Not out of the question. But again, the 22-date numerology, good day to improve to 2-2 as well. And the Bengals have 8 wins versus the Rams, so they can stay on 8 wins, pick up their 8th straight loss. If the Rams lost this game, they'd fall to 5-9, like 59 the 17th prime. Bengals would become 1-7. Ohio's the 17th state. The ref on the field is Jerome Boger, whose name equals 59 the 17th prime. I think his name's actually pronounced Boger. Jerome Boger, whatever. His name equals 59. And for Dalton, nothing really screamed out to me about Dalton's stats. He's on 57 regular season losses. Rams is 57. Caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
What's up, man?
I wanted to ask you one quick question about the baseball before it started, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so today is the 18-year anniversary of the Patriot Act being signed.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
I found it crazy because last night I saw it in the box score, the 9 and the 11. So I was wondering maybe if we might see a 9/11 ritual tonight with the game.
Here, let me pull up my notes real quick and see all what I got written down here.
Okay, while you do that, is it okay if I make a correction on something I said yesterday?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so yesterday I brought up the individual, Bob Short.
Right.
You remember the owner of the Washington Senators?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I stated that he moved the team from Montreal to Washington, but that was incorrect. What happened was the original Washington Senators, as you know, they moved to Minnesota as an expansion franchise.
Right.
But Washington still held the rights to a baseball team. So he came in and outbid another individual for the rights to the Washington Senators. And the second year, he moved them to Texas, and they became the Texas Rangers back.
Okay, got it. Okay, so that's why they were doing all the rituals with the Rangers, which connects to Bush's family.
Exactly. So I had to clear that up. That's very important. So it connects it even more. You know what I mean?
Is he still alive, Bob Short?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Let me double check. Hold on.
I can do
Give me
it too.
1 second. Where does he have it? No, he died in 1982 at the age of 65.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, definitely I wanted to correct that because that Texas part is important. The purchase didn't go directly through him. There was one owner in between him and the Bush family or whatever. But he was the person that moved the team from Washington to Texas.
And he also, and you're right, were you right about him moving the Minneapolis Lakers to Los Angeles?
Yes, that's 100%. He actually did that first in 1950, I believe.
Okay, interesting.
I'll tell you the exact year. Yeah, so he bought the Minneapolis Lakers in the late 1950s and moved the team to Los Angeles in 1960.
Yeah, so that's still that's the main thing right there because that connects the two sports seasons. So,
Yep.
all right, yeah, great work,
Yep.
man.
All right, no problem.
All right,
I just definitely wanted to clear that up, not just so you know, but as well as the viewers. I didn't want them to,
Yeah,
be misled.
yeah. All right, appreciate it, man.
All right, bye.
See you. Okay, so baseball tonight. Again, I really liked the Nationals riddle yesterday. The main thing was just, are they really going to let the series go to 3-0? So we know that Trump's going to Game 5, and that could be a big clue right there. Again, we've been thinking that this series could end in Game 5 for multiple reasons. So for that to happen, the Nationals would have to win tonight and improve to 3-1. Houston's 31. If the Nationals lost today, they would get their 21st loss in the postseason on the 21-date numerology. Caller?
So the Rams game's in London.
Is there a game in London this week?
Yeah.
Which one is?
Rams and the Bengals.
Rams and Bengals is in London. Okay, I'm glad you caught that. I need to go back and look at the stadium name.
And then one more thing with Dalton. He's going to break the record for his 11th straight loss for the Bengals. And he's tied with Palmer right now at 10.
Okay, I'm thinking about that. So, 11 straight. All right. Good catch, man. Appreciate it. All right, thanks. All right, so the Nationals are 22-20 in the postseason. If they did lose, they'd get their 21st postseason loss on the 21 date. That would even the series up at 22 apiece. The Astros right now are 5-9 in the World Series all time, all their World Series combined. I forgot to update that right there. But they are 5-9 in the World Series. If they lost, they'd be 5-10. Think about putting the losses before the wins. They'd have 10 losses and 5 wins. Nationals is 105. Again, if the Nationals win the World Series, they'll get to 105 total wins on the season. And again, if the Astros lose it in Game 5, they will have 5 wins and 11 losses in the World Series. Like 115 in reverse, 115th World Series. Urquidy, who's on the mound tonight, he's 2-1 for the season. I don't think he's going to pitch very much. He's not a regular starter. But if he did get the win tonight, he would be 3-1. Houston's 31. I doubt he'll get the decision, though. His name's got the 115 in his surname, Urquidy. Last night, Anibal Sanchez 115. Didn't pitch so well. Patrick Corbin. Nothing really screamed out to me about any of his stats tonight. So, can't say. There's nothing that really jumps out to me. Corbin does equal 101. He's pitching on the 26th. 101, the 26th prime. Powerful number combination. But I don't know if that means that he gets the W. And let's see. Today's 30 days after Dave Martinez's birthday. The word magic equals 30. They're holding those signs that say Nat's Magic. It's also his 31st day of his age. Houston's 31. They could take a 3-1 series lead on his 31st day of his age. So that's possible. And let's see. AJ Hinch, he's 8-6 in the 2019 2018 postseason. All I can say about that is that phrase "Nats magic." What's on their signs that equals 87. We talked about that. Just like Steven Strasburg. He pitched a game not too long ago on his 87th day of his age. The Nationals right now are 4-2 at home, and the Astros are 3-3 away. This is what makes me uncomfortable because this was the stat that played last night. If the Nationals lost, they'd be 4-3 at home. Astros is 43. And if the Astros won, they would be 3-3 away. Or excuse me, if the Astros won, they'd be 4-3 away. So you could have both teams hit this 4-3 record to even up the series. And again, yesterday the Astros made it 3-3 away. That was the stat that played yesterday. That was really the only thing the Astros had going. So, to me for the World Series, it's like I feel like I already did what I needed to do for the World Series. I'm not crazy about these World Series game by game. Before the postseason began, I advocated that everybody put down money on a Nationals and Astros future while it was 15-1. You guys really should have done that. Those of you who didn't, I don't know why you didn't. We tracked the Skull and Bones riddles all year. We know they were a strong pattern. I mean, that was a great and intelligent bet. So I feel like we already won with the World Series. I am still favoring the Nationals to win the thing, but I'm not feeling it calling these games by game in the World Series because they're just, I don't know. The strongest riddles seem to be not coming through. So there's just too many other things to choose from. But to me, you should already put in your picks for the World Series. So that said, we'll get back to football. And all right, where were we? Okay, Bengals at Rams. So Bengals can lose the 8th straight game. It's at Wembley Stadium. If I remember right, that equals 206 because last year there was a big riddle with the Seahawks there. Yeah, Wembley Stadium's 206. It's 82, like how the Bengals can be 0-8. Let's see. Wembley Stadium equals 80. Bengals can be 0-8. Let's see. What else is there about that place? We come over here to NFL. London 74, 88, 29, 25. Let me see if these teams have ever played a game in London. Let's see. The Rams got wasted by the Patriots in 2012. Beat by the Giants, so they're 0-2. Beat the Cardinals 1-2. So LA is 1-2 in London series. Let me plug in here. LA is 1-2. And again, same thing. LA equals 13, 22 date numerology. And Bengals. I guess they just have the stats here. Why am I not seeing Rams? Okay. Why am I not seeing the Rams on this list? Oh, there it is. Yeah, 1-2, okay. The Bengals had a tie here. 0-1. That's funny. I'm going to measure from the last times they played. October 30th. $2016. It's 156 weeks since the Bengals last game there. Cincinnati Bengals equals 156, just using the alphabetic order. So that's interesting. And the Bengals played the Redskins last. Okay. Okay, so let me check when the Rams last played there. Rams won 33-0 last time they played, October 22nd, 2017. That was 105 weeks ago. Trying to think about 105. That's the 14th triangular number. And Cincinnati Bengals is actually 105. Wow. So what a ritual. Well, I guess they couldn't have scripted it any better. Okay, so the Bengals last played in London 156 weeks ago. Cincinnati Bengals 156. The Rams last played there 105 weeks ago. Cincinnati Bengals 105. And the Bengals are 4-7 with Bozier. If they won, they'd be 5-7. Rams is 57. If they lost, they'd be 4-8. They'd get their 8th loss in Week 8. In light of the game being in England, England's also 57, but a few weeks ago, it was the Tampa Bay game, I think, when Tampa Bay played in London. I used the England Gematria, and it did not work out. So the Bengals can pick up their 8th loss in Week 8 with Bozier, and the Rams can stay on 8 losses with Bozier. And check one more thing here. Again, the streaks of 8, Cincinnati losing 8 straight, especially in Week 8, I mean, and London equals 88 as well. So I guess that also makes sense. Bengals can lose 8th straight in Week 8 in London, and London's 88. Let me see who the Rams play after the Bengals. Rams play the Steelers next. Who do the Bengals play next? Bengals play the Ravens next. Wonder where they're going to get a win at. Caller?
Hey, just a couple of things on the baseball game tonight. I know it's rolling already, but have you looked at the alignment? Because it's the 50th. It was the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11. They had Aldrin throw out the first pitch last night. He's got 31-41 numerology. The score went through 31 and 40, or 3-1 and 4-1 last night. The games could go through 3-1 and 41.
Right.
But it was 7/20/69 that
happened.
The Eagle touchdown.
Right.
And that has 115.
That's right.
Numerology.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Oh, that's a great point.
Armstrong's a 55. Saturn 5 is a 47. Apollo 11's a 55. We got 55 date numerology, or 55 date numerology for tonight. Just a lot of crossover with the Apollo 11 mission. Plus, there was a baseball game going on when they touched down between the Washington Senators and the New York Yankees. They stopped the baseball game for the touchdown. and put up on the scoreboard that the eagle had landed.
Right. Huh. Yeah, good point.
A lot of interest, a lot of tie-in this year with Apollo 11 and the World Series.
And so
it's mostly towards Washington.
Well, now that you say that, so Buzz Aldrin threw out the pitch last night, right? And Houston's associated with space, and Houston got the win last night.
But almost all the numbers are Washington
Right.
associated with the mission. And, of course, they separated from Columbia and returned to Columbia with the Eagle. You got the District of Columbia. It's the 115 World Series. That date numerology of 115. Armstrong has got, there's just a lot of Washington numbers associated with that event when you take a look at it.
Yeah, I hear you. Great observations. I appreciate it. At the beginning when you said 3141, where did those numbers come with Buzz Aldrin?
Aldrin. His last name, when you run Aldrin,
I see.
He's a 31 and a 41.
I see that. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah.
Right, and we still have an opportunity for that to play out. Like it played out in last night's game, giving them the win. Of course, anytime Houston's in a World Series, I think space, right?
Right.
Also, pretty wild that the last two major years where they had storms in 17 and 19, they're in the World Series. So there's quite a bit of overlap between the storms and the World Series as well.
Right.
But I just thought it was unique. If you take a look at it and take a look at all the names of all the modules and everything else, it's crazy on the alignment with this World Series.
Yeah.
And this year was the 50th anniversary, which is also a big number for Washington, right?
Sure is. Yeah.
So,
great observations. All right, man. I appreciate
I'll
it.
let you go.
Thank you. You have a good night.
Bye.
Take care. All right. Yeah, I think if Nationals get it done tonight, the Game 5 closeout, it makes a lot of sense. If it doesn't go close out in Game 5, it's got to be Game 7. It's got to be one of those two. That's where the numbers make sense. But yeah, the fact that Trump said he's going to Game 5, I mean, why would he announce that? Why not just go to Game 4? So, okay. Yeah, it's hard to imagine the Bengals winning this game. Again, it would be another streak of 8. Los Angeles gets to 5-3. Big number with Los Angeles. They just lost in Super Bowl 53, for another reason for them to get to 53. So, caller?
So they just flashed a stat. Houston's up 2-0. Yeah, the Nationals are 18-3 from September 3rd, I think the date was. So if you do your gematria right there, Astros equals 184.
Oh, okay. Houston Astros equals 184?
Just Astros.
Oh, Astros equals 184.
Mm-hmm.
And what cipher is that?
Give me a second.
Hold on, I'll just hit up. It's not one of the regular ciphers. It's Frank Baconis if you spell it with lowercase. It's 184 if you do uppercase. Remember, when you guys use, because you probably wouldn't spell it with lowercase. You'd spell it with uppercase, so it's 183 Astros.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay,
yeah.
Okay, but that's the stat they just flashed, so it could be relevant.
Okay, again, that's the thing I was worried about, because last night that away stat played for them, so if the Astros win tonight, they're going to be 4-3 away, and Nationals will be 4-3 at home. Astros is 43, but we'll see.
We'll see what happens. Okay, just
All right,
wanted
man.
to get that in.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, you got it.
Okay. So Rams can get to 5-3. They were the team that was in Super Bowl 53. Los Angeles 53. The Bengals can lose 8 straight. I'm not going to think too much more about this game. But something I am wondering about is how many days is it from Super Bowl 53 to this game? And last week the Rams played in the stadium where they lost Super Bowl 53. I just want to see how many days it is. Super Bowl was February 3rd. And tomorrow's game is 38 weeks, 266 days, Jesuit number. All right, so Cardinals at Saints. Somebody called in about this game earlier. I do think the Cardinals have a chance. I don't expect them to win, but I would put down a small bet with the games I do like, and the Cardinals is a major upset. And I'll get to why that is in a second, but I do think the Saints will probably take it. Caller?
Hey, Zach. Just one quick note about the baseball. Sorry to keep dragging it, but home teams is 0-3 in the World Series right now. And yesterday, the USA Today released an article because they've been doing simulations throughout the World Series. They drew these computer simulations.
Right.
So yesterday, they predicted that the Washington Nationals would win 4-1, and obviously the Astros won 4-1. So and today they predicted the Astros would win 5-3. So I don't know which way that one's going to go, but it was backwards yesterday.
Okay, so the last two scores of the games, 12-3, the Nationals won. Like if they win in Game 5, their playoff record will be 12-3. And then yesterday you get 4-1, which we know all about, and Nats come up 4-1. So okay, yeah, that's interesting. And what was did they say like the name of the computer simulation or whatever it was? Was it a video game or what?
So it was a USA Today article. Okay. If you just type in like USA Today World Series simulation, it should pop up. I didn't catch the first game or the second game, but I caught yesterday's game and today. So yesterday they got it right, but it was backwards.
Okay. It just reminds me like how Madden often gets the Super Bowl right with their simulations. So.
Yeah, exactly. So,
all right. Appreciate it, man. The problem is in recent years, I've noticed with the Madden simulations, they're like doing multiple of them. I'm like, okay, which is the one that counts? I think people were catching on to that. Okay, so here it is. Cardinals at the Saints. If the Saints win, they're going to be 7-1. Catholic 71. You have literally the two most Catholic teams playing each other. Cardinals, Catholics, Saints. And so the Saints becoming 7-1 in this game, very probable. If the Cardinals lose, they'll get their 8th loss to the Saints in Week 8. So there's another 8. And let me see here. The game's on Murray's 82nd day of his age. Saints, let me get rid of all these ciphers. Saints is 82. So it's interesting that it's his 82nd day of his age. And this is where the upset narrative is right here. The number 431 is the 83rd prime number. Football's 83. The Pope's going to turn 83 years old this year on December 17th. And New Orleans, Louisiana, is 83. And what happened in the LSU game? I liked LSU to win today. Did they win? Woo, just barely. Caller?
What's going on, Zach?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm looking at I'm looking at the Rams and the Patriots for that 8 straight, like I was telling you. I was trying to see if you had one more strong one, or just one more to put with that you think that'll fly.
Are you gonna?
I've been listening, but.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna hang on through the whole live stream, or do you got to go somewhere?
No, I'm here. Like I said, I got Patriots, and then I got the Rams. I just need that one more to get me a 3-pick, and I'm gonna load up.
Okay, just hang with me till the end.
The Falcons off, but I wanted to play the Seattle, but I heard you, so I'm gonna leave that one off.
Yeah, stay with me till the end because I'm gonna review everything, and I'll say which games I like the most at the end. So, no problem.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, you got it. All right, see you, man. Okay, so. The upset for the Cardinals, the shocker, would be for them to become 4-3-1, 431, the 83rd prime, football 83, New Orleans, Louisiana 83. It's possible. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would do a small parlay with the games I do like and throw the Cardinals in there with an upset because it's one of those games where if it does come through, you bet the Cardinals on the money line, it's going to pay a lot. So it's, a bet where you could turn $1 into $50. And in all likelihood, the Cardinals will fall to 2-2, and the Saints will hit 7-1 for the Catholic tribute. Cardinals get the 8th loss in Week 8. And Breeze, his next win all time is 165. Arizona Cardinals is 165. So how perfect that he comes back to face them, right? In this Catholic tribute. Plus it's Week 8, Saints 19, 19 the 8th prime. So, also if you write out 8 as a word, it equals 86, and he can get his 86th win at home in the regular season. He'd become 5-2. Pope equals 52. How they sync up the Saints games with the Pope so often. The ref for this game is number 19, Saints 19. And his name's Clay Martin. Clay Martin equals 44 like Saints, 64 like New Orleans Saints. Saints are 2-1 when he's the umpire. Cardinals are 1-1 when he's the umpire. They've never had him as the ref. That's why I wrote umpire there. Neither team has had him as the ref. He's a new ref. But number 19. So... Okay. The Jets and Jaguars game. So, interesting game. The Jets went through a humiliation ritual last week. If the Jets lose this week, they'll get their 8th loss all time against the Jaguars in Week 8. If they win, though, they'll be 7-7. And that's hard to go against because Jaguars in 77, that's a real consistent pattern that shows up a lot. I'd pay attention to the Washington State University game tonight. The pattern's been broken between WSU losing and the Jaguars winning, but still, there's still things going on between those two teams, so there could be a clue in the Cougars game tonight. Caller?
Did you get that Chuck Merriweather umpire died today at the age of 63?
Another MLB umpire?
Yeah, they had a moment of silence before the game started. They just announced it.
Major League Baseball is 63.
And then they just said he started it was 2004 World Series with the Red Sox. So I don't know if any significance besides what you just said.
What was that? What the 2004 World Series? Did they face the Cardinals?
I want to say yes. I believe that was the year they played the Cardinals.
So St. Louis.
Either them or it was the Rockies. I don't remember offhand.
Okay, St. Louis is 115. That would make sense. Chuck Merriweather. Okay, I'll look it up just to see how many days it is from his birthday.
Okay, cool.
All right, thanks, man.
Yep.
All right, hold on. Let me just do it real quick for all the people interested in baseball. Chuck Merriweather. Must not be how you spell it. So 63. Major League Baseball 63. Major League 63. He died he died today. Let's see. Chuck Merriweather. His name's 82, like umpire and like Washington Nationals. So second umpire to die in the time of the World Series, and both have 82 connections. Washington Nationals is 235 and 82. You see that? And then look at Chuck Merriweather, 235, 82. Hold on. Wow, it's 118 days after his birthday. George Herbert Walker Bush 118, death 118, homicide 118. Number of the year. And when you write out 41, it equals 118 as well. If it does end in 4-1. If the Nationals win tonight, they come back and win this game, they're going to close out in Game 5. That's got to be the clue right there. All right. That's how long it takes to see through these things when you know Gematria. Anyway. Again, the Jets can pick up their 8th loss in Week 8. That'd be like a 68 tribute. Remember, that was the Jets' winning season. Jets Super Bowl winning season was 1968-69. And let me double check on Jacksonville. Caller?
Yeah, that umpire wore the number 14 as well, Zach.
14, huh? Okay.
Yeah, and I found it interesting also with the college football, as like in some of your notes, but the upsets that happened today. The number 5 team got upset as well as the number 15 team.
Who was number 15?
I believe Texas.
Oh, yeah, Texas, yeah. TCU had a decent riddle.
Yeah, and just one more thing on that 9/11 thing I found interesting. It's 1 month and 15 days from September 11th, or 45 days.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, good observation. All right, thanks, man. See. Kansas State had a good riddle to win today. They got their 11th win. And today leaves 66 days left in the year. Big football numbers. 66, the 11th triangular number. NFL equals 66. That's why the first Super Bowl was in the 66 season. Week 9 equals 66 as well. That's what it is in college football. But anyway, this game right here, the 8 goes against the Jaguars. But man, Jaguars in 77, those riddles come together all the time. So I'm humming and hawing about this. Could the Jets upset the Jags and get to 7-7? That would not surprise me at all. That has been a real consistent number over the years with the Jaguars, 77. So the problem is Darnold and Gase, I don't really see anything in their stats that sync up well with this game. If Darnold won, he'd be 3-5. QB's 35, but that's pretty generic. You know what? I just want to see how it lines up with Joe Namath. They keep doing advertisements with Joe Namath, so I just want to see. Week 1, Joe Namath did a commercial with his guarantee it line saying that the Jets were going to shock a lot of people, and he guarantees it. Well, they're really going to have to get going if they're going to shock anybody. Oh, it's 149 days after Namath's birthday. That's the 35th prime. Caller?
Hey, what up, Zach?
What's up, man?
The Saints game, they clear, Breach is going to start that game.
Yeah.
So they, also, I was watching, earlier, they had, Reggie Bush, and, he's from he played USC football. He was at, the pregame, and then he said he's heading to, the Saints. He's heading to the Saints. They got a ceremony for him, I guess, on Saturday. They're going to enter him into the Saints Hall of Fame, which is actually located in the stadium. But that's going to be the formal celebration. Is on Saturday. They're going to have him on Sunday signing autographs. But when he was on televised and during the pregame college game, he said, "I'm bringing the bat," and that was reference to in 2010. He actually the coach at that time handed it back to the player in the locker room who's going to perform the most physical player, the outperformance. So he was handed the bat, and he said, "I'm going to bring the bat out." So he brought the bat out that game. It was a playoff game in 2010, and the playoff game was against the Arizona Cardinals.
Huh. Okay. And they
but,
won.
If you want to look, you can look more into that. But that's all I got.
Okay. Appreciate that. Good catch, Izzy. All right, see you, man. Well, this isn't one of those Ring of Honor things. These are the types of ceremonies where home teams do lose. Marcus Colston, too. Let me see something. All right, here's their playoff game. January 16th, 2010. Let's see. That was 510 weeks ago. 45-14. New Orleans is 45. So is Drew Brees. That was a date with 47 numerology. Let me see. March 2nd. It's 239 days after Reggie Bush's birthday. That's the 52nd prime. Reggie Bush is 52. All right, let me put this note in here. The Saints are adding Reggie Bush and Marcus Colston. Hey, I'm not ready because I'm doing the live stream right now, but I'll be done pretty soon. Just give me like 30 more minutes. All right, I'll be done soon. Bye. All right. That really makes me wonder though about because those are the types of things like this year they've diluted that because of all this Ring of Honor stuff. The Ring of Honor doesn't seem to matter the wins and losses, but these are the types of things where the home team will often lose. When they do these big ceremonies, lift the jersey up, put the number up. I'm still having trouble believing the Saints are going to lose at home to the Cardinals, but again, that's why I would do that small parlay with the Cardinals. There's a riddle even outside of that. So, and then it would create that narrative. Remember, ESPN called this the year of the black quarterback. It's become the year of the backup quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater's both. The Saints were undefeated with Bridgewater. Okay, coming back to this Jets and Jaguars game. If Minshew wins, he'll be 4-3. Jacksonville's 43. Florida's 43. That would make a lot of sense. Marone could stay on 39 losses against New York. He could also stay on 19 wins in Week 8. And he could also pick up his 22nd loss on the 22 date numerology. So his stats are conflicted. And again, just the fact that the Jaguars have that 7-7 hanging out there if the Jets win. I mean, I'm just trying to think of the time a Jaguars 77 riddle didn't hit when it was on the board. My eyes always light up when I see that, but the way the Jets are playing, it's hard to get excited about it. So, the Jets have never won with this ref. They are 0-8. 0-8. They could become 0-9. Jets equals 9. If you use the rule for S, Jets is also 18. But the Jets are 0-8 with this ref, Brad Allen. The Jaguars are 2-2 with Allen. What's interesting about that is if they lost, they'd be 2-3. Jaguars equals 23. That's the 9th prime, and Jets is 9. So, but quite a record there. 0-8 with Brad Allen are the Jets. So, Jacksonville's a 5.5-point favorite at home. Jacksonville's been a good team. It's just I don't know if it's one of those any given Sunday games. So I'm going to think about that game more. I'm not crazy about that one. The Panthers and the 49ers game. Remember, there's a relationship with the 49ers and Panthers. George Seifert. Charlotte has the college team, the 49ers. Did they play this week? Maybe they gave us a clue. The Charlotte 49ers won 39-38 over the North Texas Mean Green. 77 points. Let's see. North Texas Mean Green. Okay. So the Panthers are 13-7 versus the 49ers, which means they can get their 8th loss in week 8. But the Panthers at the 49ers are 7-3. So they could also get their 8th win at the 49ers. And if the 49ers lost, they would be 3-8 versus the Panthers. Panthers is 38. Or excuse me, if the 49ers lost, they would be 3-8 at home versus the Panthers. This is my dad's a 49er fan, and I realized long ago, long before I knew this, there was something weird about the Panthers and 49ers. Let me go back and look at the last time they played a game in San Francisco. Oops, I should have done that. All right. All right. That is all correct. So the last game was September 10th, 2017. And think about how the Panthers also played in the Super Bowl at San Francisco. Last game was September 10th, 2017. 49ers were terrible then. 49ers lost 3-23. So that game was 777 days ago. Crazy. And then the Charlotte 49ers won 39-38. 77 combined points. Panthers won 23-3 in SF. Charlotte 49ers beat Texas Mean Green 39-38 this week. 77 points. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Hey, New York 78 reverse ordinal.
Yeah.
12th triangular. So
Right.
Minshew 1 and 2, maybe.
Who goes 1 and 2?
Minshew, Allen.
Oh, I see what you're saying with that. Okay.
Yeah, and it's another square root game. That 49, Jaguars 49. Jets could pick up that 7th win, stay on 7 losses for another 77.
I'm telling you, I know from history that the Jaguars 77 thing plays hard. That's why it's really hard to go past that. But I just don't know what they're going to do with this Jets team. They looked good. They just beat the Cowboys, and then they got humiliated against the Patriots.
I know, man. It's crazy how professional athletes could look so sloppy the next week.
That's just how you know it's not real, man. Because it's like, if you're good, you don't come out and make an ass out of yourself.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for that one.
All right.
All right, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Yep.
But yeah, that's why I don't know what to make about the Jets. Because I mean, it's like you're not looking at, like, if it was real competition, you'd be able to gauge it. But it being all scripted and stuff, it's like, okay, are they going to humiliate the Jets again, or are they going to let them play football? So. Yeah, I'm going to keep thinking about that game. All right, but Panthers and 49ers. If the 49ers lose and fall to 3-8, something else to think about is the word gold equals 38. And of course, the 49ers are named after the Gold Rush. And remember, they hosted Super Bowl 50, the golden anniversary. And the Super Bowl that year was on February 7th, the 38th day of the year. The Panthers lost. The team from the 38th state won. The Broncos. Caller? Caller?
So I've read, I think I pointed this out a couple of times when I called. ESPN has some articles last few weeks comparing the Carolina Allen kid to Mahomes and pointed out that he started 5-0 just like Mahomes. So I was trying to look. I don't remember who Mahomes' first loss was, or I don't know if that could key into tomorrow's game.
Here, I'll look up Mahomes' game log and see when he got his first loss.
Yeah, they're comparing this kid a lot to Mahomes.
That's weird because their game's not similar.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. but I've seen it. I want to say definitely 2, maybe 3 articles, and it's always the Sunday that morning right before the games. They come out with their predictions and they're up against the spreads, and they pointed that out very, very emphatically, and he's won all this time.
Mahomes started out 6-0 and lost his first game to New England. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
And right now we have parallels between Frisco and New England, huh?
Yeah, that is true.
Interesting.
That is
Got
true.
It. Okay, just wanted to throw that one out there.
All right, appreciate it. So if history repeats, I mean, Carolina, again, they do damage against the 49ers. If Allen won, he'd become 5-0 away in San Francisco, 50. Panthers lost in Super Bowl 50 in SF in San Francisco. That was the Huey P. Newton tribute. Rivera does have a chance at... Oh, shit. There it is right there, man. That's got to be it, actually. That's got to be it. San Francisco equals 76. I don't know how I didn't see that before. So the Panthers can get their 76th... Or Ron Rivera can get his 76th win in the regular season, and San Francisco equals 76. And I just know that the Panthers own the 49ers. The 49ers are playing so well, though. It's just like... All right, so Rivera can get his 76th win on the 76th date numerology. That makes a lot of sense. And Allen can get to 5-0 in San Francisco away. If the Panthers lost, they'd fall to 4-3 as a team. Jimmy G, he's 6-0 at home. If he did win, he'd be 7-0. Again, 49ers, square root of 49-7. 777 days since the last game in San Francisco versus Carolina. If Shanahan didn't lose, he'd stay on 22 losses on the 22-day numerology. The name of this ref, Sean Smith, his name equals 55, like 49ers. Caller?
Hey, Zach. So, a couple things I love about this Panthers game. Interesting thing, the 49ers equals 55, and that's the 10th Fibonacci and 10th triangular number.
That's right.
So I was thinking Allen goes 1-0 for his first game with the Niners. And you also got Santa Clara, California, 79, full reduction. So Rivera could also get his 79th all-time win.
That's true. What was the point you just made about Allen and 1-0?
Well, this is his first game against the 49ers, so if he wins, he'd be 1-0. Like how the Niners is 55, and 55 is the 10th Fibonacci and the 10th triangular number.
Oh, so you're saying 10 breaks down to 1?
Right.
Okay.
Well, just the 10, just the 1-0, just looking at it like that.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, I think it could be an upset here because it also makes sense for Rivera to get that 76th win in San Francisco. So.
Right, and Panthers is 38, and San Francisco's 3-7 at home right now, and they're also 43. That's for the all-time loss as well, and for the regular season. So.
Right. Yeah. Good point, Sam.
And Garoppolo, he's 14-2. Carolina's 143 reverse ordinal. So
that's a good catch. I forgot that. I know you're right about that one. Yep, that's a good catch. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yep, good one.
That's it.
All right, appreciate it, man. Great work.
No problem. Yep.
Yeah, he's right about Carolina 143. Just like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is 143. Throw it up here real quick. Whoops, I spelled it wrong. Carolina 143. And I suppose that's why they're 3-7 at home against Carolina as well. And now they can fall to 3-8. So, yeah, for some reason, ever since the beginning, the Panthers have owned the 49ers. But yeah, the numbers are there for Rivera. to get the 76th win, and he has a good point about Jimmy G falling to 14-3. It sure is. It's kind of hard to go against the 49ers on a 49-date numerology, though, huh? San Francisco, 76. 49ers. But, yeah, Rivera getting that win makes a lot of sense. And, again, I always suggest if you're taking a team that's an underdog, take the points. 49ers win this in a close game. You know, Panthers cover, you still win your bet. So, $5.5. That's a decent score to cover. And Panthers have been playing everybody tough. Oh, and I'm just thinking about how Cam Newton got humiliated in Super Bowl 50, and this is like the ongoing Cam Newton humiliation ritual. You know, he gets benched. The young guy comes in, steals the show. All right, this seems like one of the most logical riddles of the day. Bill Belichick, against the team that he originally coached for, joins an exclusive club of coaches, getting his 300th win on the 300th day of the year. Cleveland 33 for a few more threes. So I think that's what's going to happen. The upset narrative would be for the Patriots to fall to 7-1 because Browns equals 71. But at the same time, with that 71, Brady can become 7-1 versus the Browns, and I suspect that'll be the one that plays. Brady will also become 5-0 at home for the season. It's been a year of 50 tributes for Brady. So the game's also 85 days after Brady's birthday, and Brady's 85, so is National Football League. The only other thing that I see that could go sideways for the Patriots is Brady could get his 19th home loss in Week 8, 19, the 8th prime. But again, Belichick going for the 300th win on the 300th day of the year, it just seems like one of those smash you in the face type of obvious riddles. So Tony Corrente is the ref for this one, number 99. New England equals 99. The Browns are 2-9 with Corrente, and the Patriots are 16-5 with Corrente. So, based on that as well, just Gematria aside, Browns struggle with this ref and the Patriots don't. Okay. Okay, the Raiders and the Texans. So, if the Raiders lose, they'll be 4-7 versus the Texans. Texans equals 47. And so does Raiders. Or wait, no, hold on. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's just Raiders that equals 47. Yeah, Texans doesn't equal 47. I take it back, but Raiders does. Raiders is 47. The Raiders are 2-2 at the Texans. That means either team can become 3-2 in Houston. Houston's the more likely team to do it. Houston equals 32. If Carr loses, he'll get his 29th away loss. Texans equals 49. Best case scenario for him would be to stay on 49 overall losses on the 49-date numerology. But, where is it? Looking at Watson's stats. Watson's stats make a lot of sense with a win. He can get his 19th win in Week 8. 19's the 8th prime number. And he'd become 11-5 at home all-time with a win. Raiders 115, just like how we saw Rodgers get that 115th win last week. So I like the stats for Watson. Let me see. Was there something with O'Brien can get his 47th win and stay on 41 losses. Oakland 41. So his record would be like a tribute to the Oakland Raiders. And if Houston wins, they'll be 3-1 at home. Houston 31, right? We know how hard that number plays in Houston. The other thing to think about is you do have the 22-date numerology. Oakland's 22. Texans is 79, the 22nd prime. So the Raiders have a little narrative, but I like the fact that Watson can get his 19th win in Week 8. Just like how we went with the numbers last week that had the relationship with 7. The week before, the relationship with the numbers was 6. Same thing this week. 19-8, peas in a pond. So I'm taking the Texans through Watson. Caller?
How does Watson not go 11-5 with Houston Astros in the 115th World Series?
That's a great point. And God, isn't that something? If the World Series ends tomorrow, that would be something else.
Yeah, I had to point that one out.
Yeah, that's a great point too, man. So, yeah.
All right, brother.
Yeah, very good. All right, let me make a note about that. And the World Series will be going on tomorrow, so I guess now that he brings up the World Series, I'm just thinking like, if he lost, he'd be 10-5 at home, like Nationals is 105. I'm gonna jot it down, just that Nationals is 105. Thinking about the World Series, but I still like I like him becoming 11-5 versus the Raiders, and again the 19th win in Week 8. So. And again, Carr made sense with the loss as well. So, things look pretty good there for the Texans. Packers and Chiefs. It doesn't sound like it's certain that Mahomes isn't playing yet. I looked at it right before we even started this live stream, and it said he's probably not playing. But anyway, I have his stats and Matt Moore's stats up here. I kind of wish Mahomes was playing because he has a clear riddle to lose with the Packers. So home teams are 4-3 on Sunday Night Football. Home teams are 4-3. If the Chiefs lose, they will be 4-4. Packers equals 44. Kind of like how last week home teams were, what was it? They were 5-2 on Monday Night Football, and the Patriots made home teams 5-3. Patriots 53. Last week, Sunday Night Football, home teams were 3-3 on Sunday Night Football. The Cowboys won. Dallas Cowboys 43. So, home teams so far this year are 13-10 on primetime as well. Kansas City equals, or the initials KC equals 13-14. Green Bay is also 41 the 13th prime. Caller?
Zach, if Watson lost, he would be 10-6.
Oh, all time.
Yeah, not 11 and not 105.
No, for the regular season he'd be 10-5.
Oh,
yeah.
Shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, and then I think that the line should be higher in that Packers game because Mahomes out, so it's only 4.
Is he out though? Is that confirmed?
Yeah, they said he's out.
Okay. All right. Before I started the live stream, it said there was still a chance he could play.
I think it was ESPN. It said he's been out.
Okay.
You might want to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, man.
All right.
See you. Here, let me see if there's an update. Mahomes, Week 8. All right, this says out now 4 hours ago. Okay. All right, so it says he's out. All right, so if the Chiefs do lose, home teams will become 4-4 on Sunday Night Football. Packers is 44. That definitely matters. Packers are 3-7-1 versus the Chiefs in the regular season. And they're 2-4 at the Chiefs. Or hold on, did I misspeak? The Packers are 3-7-1 versus the Chiefs in the regular season, and they're 2-4 at the Chiefs in the regular season. I guess before I didn't see anything in that, but now I see one thing. Green Bay equals 139, the 34th prime. That's what I see. They got to 3-4. Yeah, there's just nothing real. Rodgers, a lot of his games this year, it's been real clear. I better look down the schedule here. But there's nothing that's a great alignment for a win or loss for this game. Do the Chargers have a 117 connection? Los Angeles Chargers, I guess not. Just making that up. Los Angeles CA. Oh, I spelled it wrong. 118. So we play Chargers next. And then Carolina Panthers. But yeah, his stats made so much sense, against the Cowboys, against the Raiders. I just don't see the riddle in his stats this week. So, it's a missing piece. The game's on Andy Reid's 223rd day of his age. The Packers establishment date's the 223rd day of the year. Guess I'll make a note about that. Caller?
Again, you're the backup. Matt Moore starting. He looked pretty good last week coming out. Closing it out, I think they played Denver, if I'm not mistaken. And then one more time, that line is very, very small at 4. And one thing, if you have some time, I don't know, might be interesting to look up what the backup's quarterback, what their records are so far going into this week.
Yeah, that'd take me a minute to compile to figure out the backup records. That is a good thought, though.
Yeah, but for me, that line is too small. I don't know. Backup's been doing their thing.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah,
all right, man.
Just want to point that out.
All right, appreciate it. Let me see what the gematria of Matt Moore is. That was something I didn't check. Matt Moore. Okay, so Matt Moore, he's 15-16 all time, 9-6 at home. He's 15-15 in the regular season, still 9-6 at home. So I don't see any great clue for where his stats could go either. Sure I'm not missing something in the Kansas City gematria. Let's see. Packers. Whoops. Green Bay Packers. Packers is 116. So Rodgers' next win is 116. And Packers is 116. So that's the symbolism of his next win. All I can think of is, Packers won the first Super Bowl over the Chiefs. 116. And then he plays LA next. LA's 13. When you write out 13, it's 117. So it could make some sense to get the 117th win over the Chargers because they're LA. LA had that shooting last year on November 7th, and then they had the fire the next day on November 8th. Yeah, it's hard to gauge Matt Moore's stats. The game's 79 days after his birthday. The referee Bill Vinovich, the Packers are 5-6 with him, and the Chiefs are 7-5 with him. You got the 76 date numerology. Caller?
Hi, Zach.
Hi.
This is a number one Chief fan. I believe Matt Moore's 74 days until his birthday.
I'm going to double check it. I had 79 days, but I'm going to double check to make sure I did it right. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye. Caller? Caller?
The only thing I can see is perhaps Matt Moore's record against the Packers. I want to say the last game he started might have been against the Packers with the Dolphins.
I think when I checked, he's never played the Packers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I looked. He doesn't have any games against them.
Got it. All right.
All right.
Just thought.
All right. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's 79 days after Matt Moore's birthday. It would also be his 80th day of his age. And backups really have done well this year. It's just like, ugh. So, I mean, ultimately for this game, Sunday Night Football, I don't see any Sunday Night Football numbers really. No great clue with the ref. Let me write out Sunday Night Football one more time, make sure I'm not missing something there. Sunday Night Football. Oh, that's one thing I was going to say, but it doesn't matter because the Packers don't even play at home next week. Lambeau Field's 71, but they're not at Lambeau. And then next week they play at the Chargers. Yeah, it's just... I would think there would be something screaming out here. Primetime game, but... Packers becoming 3-4 at the Chiefs might be the best clue on the board because Green Bay's 139, 34th prime. It's the Packers' 99th season. Arrowhead Stadium's 99. So, I don't know how many eggs you want to put in that basket, but and again, if home teams do lose on if the home team loses on Sunday Night Football, they will be 4-4. Packers is 44, so just one of the. If the Packers lost their next 2 away games, they'd become 2-2 against the Chargers. Chargers 79, the 22nd prime, but I don't know about that either. The way the Chargers are playing. I might hold off on this game. I'll wait to see if there's more clues in the day games. I'd say right now, though, Packers got a little better edge. Just like things like how the Chiefs can fall to 7-6 with this ref on the 76 date numerology. So, it's like, what are the odds of that? And, again, you know, this thing up here, falling to 4-4, the home teams if the Packers win. And the Packers becoming 3-4 at the Chiefs, a little bit symbolic, so... But I don't see anything with the coaches or the quarterback. I actually see one thing that I was over. Oh, actually, I guess I had this here and I forgot to say it. Reed could get his 73rd win with the Packers, or his 73rd win with Kansas City all time against the Packers. He could also get his 39th loss, though, and SNF is 39. That's always a big number on Sunday Night Football. I guess he could get his 34th loss in the regular season. Again, Green Bay 139, the 34th prime. But yeah. And then Monday Night Football, the Steelers are going for their 17th straight win on Monday Night Football. Remember, they got the 16 straight. Or actually, never mind. They're going for their 18th straight. I take it back. They got 17 straight versus the Bengals. Now they're going for 18 straight. Home teams are 5-3 on Monday Night Football. You got 50 date numerology. Pittsburgh's 50. Let's see one more thing I should write down here. It would be interesting if the Dolphins ended this record Monday Night Football streak. The Dolphins are 11-12 versus the Steelers. 11-12. MNF is 12. So if the Dolphins won on Monday Night Football, ending the Steelers' record streak, it would be 12-12. If the Dolphins won, they'd be 5-8 at the Steelers. They'd also be 4-6 at the Steelers in the regular season. Pittsburgh's 58, Heinz Field's 46. If the Steelers won, the Dolphins would fall to 4-9 all time at the Steelers. Steelers does equal 49 as well. Let me see. If the Dolphins lost, they'd be 3-7 in the regular season. Kind of like 37, the 12th prime, MNF 12. Dolphins could stay on those 8 losses all time in week 8. And let's see. Caller?
What a game for Miami to win, huh? If they win, that means home teams are 5-4. Super Bowl 54 in Miami, huh?
That is true. Super Bowl 54 in Miami. That's a good point.
Something also to look out for. This they had the Mahomes and Rogers State Farm commercial.
Right.
Matt Moore used to play in Miami. Mahomes is out. I'm wondering if there's any significance from that. that first game up until now, and perhaps now up into the Super Bowl, maybe it's a clue that these are going to be the two teams, possibly. They have a couple narratives.
Yeah, that's a thought.
Maybe more is a missing link if they choose to go with this narrative.
Yeah, that's something to think about.
Yeah, I don't know, just something. Yeah, food for thought. But yeah, 5-4. That'd be some tribute right there.
Yeah. All right, man.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Okay. So there are some riddles on the board that look good for the Dolphins. It's like, but is this really going to happen? Steelers haven't exactly been the greatest team this year, but they've been playing better since they got off to their god-awful start. Fitzpatrick, he's on 50 wins. If he didn't get a win, he'd stay on 50 in Pittsburgh on 50-8 numerology. He'd get his 79th loss. He's 0-6 versus the Steelers to date. 0-3 at Pittsburgh. So he's never won there. Caller?
Yeah, on that Monday night game, there was a headline when they were talking about Fitzpatrick making the start, and it said, "It's not magic." So I started doing a little research, and the 85 Bears, they lost on Monday night to the Dolphins, and that date is 33 years, 330 days
Huh.
from Monday night.
Huh.
And it was weird because in the article, it started talking about Marino, and every article you read, it either said, like, Marino's magical performance or Marino magic, and his first touchdown pass was for 33 yards, which I thought was funny, and the running back ended up with 74 yards with his Miami Dolphins.
Huh. Huh.
So I didn't know if there was something to that. If you could look at that, it's not magic, and I didn't see any numbers there, but you might see something.
Well, magic equals 33 like MNF. So.
But the phrase, "it's not magic."
Let's try it out. It's not magic. I see a 49. Steelers is 49. I see a 130 like Pittsburgh. So I see some Pittsburgh numbers there.
Huh.
Yeah.
But that's pretty weird. I mean, it's 33 years and 330 days. And the article from that date, it said Miami Miracle and Miami Magic when they beat the 85 Bears that night, the next day in the paper. So they're using those same words, you know?
Right. I'm going to see how Dan Marino's birthday lines up. Huh.
All right, I'm going to continue listening to the podcast.
All right, appreciate it, man. Okay. Dan Marino's 58 right now. That's the number we were just looking at. Dolphins could become 5-8 all time at the Steelers. His birthday is September 15th. So let's see. Game's on the 28th. The game's 43 days after Dan Marino's birthday. Dolphins is 43, so is Florida. The Steelers are 6-1 with this ref, by the way. If they lost, they'd be 6-2, and he wears the jersey number 62. And if the Dolphins won, they'd be 3-1 with this ref, and Steelers is 31. All right, this game is 43 days after Dan Marino's birthday. Dolphins 43. Florida 43. Football 43. Yeah, I'm going to think more about this one, too, because, I mean, it's no fun to pick the Steelers. The best thing going for the Steelers, though, in this game is just that Fitzpatrick can stay on 50 wins and that he's never beat them before. If he did win, he'd be 1-6. Pennsylvania is 53, the 16th prime. We'll think more about that game. Let me take this from the top. My lady's about to get mad at me if I don't wrap this up. But here, let's review everything. Okay, so we know why the Vikings beat the Redskins. Seahawks at Falcons. It's hard to have confidence in the Falcons right now, but when you look at this riddle, Seahawks lose, they'll become 10-7 versus the Falcons. Seattle's 107. Falcons could become 11-9 in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Falcons 119. If Wilson loses, he will get his 25th away loss and stay on 34 away wins. Falcons is 25-34. The best case scenario for the Seahawks is to improve to 6-2 because the next opponent they play equals 62. Matt Schaub is 38 years old. He's the backup playing this week. There's a ritual with Matt Ryan sitting out. He's played in 163 consecutive games. This game's 163 days after his birthday, which is the 38th prime. Schaub is 38 years old. Dan Quinn is going for his 38th regular season win. And if Schaub does win, he'll get his 48th win in the regular season. Seahawks is 48. And if he gets the win, he'll get his 28th home win as well, and Seattle's 28. So, is it the year of the backup? I mean, it has been. Is it the year of the old veteran backup? I mean, that's what we're going to find out in this Falcons-Seahawks game. Matt Schaub's the oldest backup to come in yet, I think. And by the way, the Seahawks are 2-6 with the ref. If they lose, they'll be 2-7 with him on the 27th of the month. So, it's hard to have confidence. It's hard to have confidence in the Falcons for obvious reasons. So I'll let you make a decision if you want to play on that game. Eagles and Bills. This one's tough too because the Bills have been the lot better team. If the Bills win, they're going to be 6-1. Philadelphia 61. We talked about that last week. Part of the reason we liked the Bills last week. But when I said that last week, I hadn't done the analysis on this game. It's tough because Wentz can get his 27th win. Buffalo equals 27, plus the game's on the 27th of the month. He could also get his 22nd loss on the 22-date numerology. Peterson has a chance at his 33rd win, and the game's in New York. New York's 33. On the flip side, Josh Allen, you got to make a choice. Does he become 11-7 because Buffalo Bills is 117? Or does he get his 8th loss in Week 8? And McDermott, the Bills coach, if he lost, he'd get his 19th loss in Week 8, 19 the 8th prime. So the 8s definitely go against the Bills. And last week and weeks prior, when you've had riddles that have synced up with the coach and QB, whether they were favorable or unfavorable, that's usually told you the direction of the game. So Wentz has an argument that's favorable. Josh Allen has a narrative that you can argue either way, and McDermott, it goes against him. But then there's the part of you that's gone, well, the Eagles look like they were done last week. They could get put away this week if the Bills beat them. And the Bills could prove that they're a playoff team with the win this week. And it does seem like the Bills are going to be a playoff team. So, again, I'd say this is a dangerous game. And because every week, like when we go 6 for 1, I get 1,000 text messages that say, oh my God, I lost it all because of the one game that didn't come through. I'm trying to just whittle it down so that you guys can, stay away from the games that are very dicey here. So that game is dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous. I want to say Bills, but man, it's hard to go against what lines up for Wentz. Wentz has a nice little riddle there. So, Chargers at Bears. Again, this game right here. It looks like Rivers and Lynn should get the loss. Rivers can get his 55th away loss, Chicago Bears 55, and Lynn can get his 18th loss in the regular season, Bears 18. So, QB and coach got the double whammy against him. Best case scenario for the Chargers is to improve to 3-5 because Chicago equals 35. On the other side, Trubisky can get his 19th win. 19's the 8th prime. It's Week 8. So I got to take the Bears there. Perfect team for Rivers to get the 55th away loss, and perfect team for Lynn to get the 18th loss. Giants-Lions. Again, a lot of tight games this week. This is a tight week. The 22-date numerology, I think, is the main clue here. The fact that the Giants can improve to 22-22 on the 22 date. Daniel Jones, you can make an argument for the win or loss. Shermer looks better for a win, the coach. And then with regards to Stafford, pretty unclear with Stafford, but he could get his 79th loss in the regular season, which is the 22nd prime. Caller?
I know you're doing a review, but I think you're missing something possibly. The Chargers referee is 126, the referee number. Rivers is going for 126 as well.
He's going for his 126th win. Yeah, all-time. Yeah, it's true all-time. Yeah, I don't like the all-time stats, though. I like the regular season stats.
I dig it. I got you. I just thought I'd point that out. And then there's maybe one more thing that could tie in with this Atlanta Falcon game. Schaub played with the Houston Texans.
Right.
And then they're going against Seattle from Washington.
Well, I don't get what you're saying.
Well, I'm just thinking perhaps it's kind of like a reverse kind of thing going on because you have Schaub making a start from the Houston. He originally started out with the Houston Texans, got Houston in the World Series, playing against a team from Washington Nationals, kind of like parody.
Okay, I see. All right.
Yeah. All right, that's it.
All right, thanks, man. Okay, that is interesting that the ref number is 126. Rivers could get his 126th all-time win. I still like that he can get his 55th away loss. So I said in the Giants-Lions game, the 22s, they go against the Lions and favor the Giants. Either team can become 2-2 in the away or home record, but again, the fact that the Giants can even it up at 22-22, and let's see. Stafford, again, would get his 79th regular season loss, which is the 22nd prime Ford Field where they play 79. So, very close game, but I'm going to give the edge to the Giants there. But be careful. I'd be, if you do parlays this week, I'd keep them real small. 2-3 teams at the most, because these games, it's just another really tight week. Bucks and Titans, this game right here. Bucks can lose their 8th straight game in Tennessee. Again, the streaks of 8 have been dominant this year, so it's really hard to go against that. If Winston loses, he'll get his 20th away loss. Titans is 20. Still looking at that thing, though. It's like, could he upset Seattle next week? I guess it's possible. Arians you can make sense of with a win or a loss. Tannehill, you can make sense of. You can actually make better sense of Tannehill with a loss, which is the weird thing. Vrabel would also make more sense with a loss. You know, when you look at this game's a mess too. This Titans and Bucks game, but the one thing that's there that's been really reliable is the streak of 8. So the fact that the Bucks can lose their 8th straight game in Tennessee in Week 8, I gotta ride the streak of 8 there. But I wouldn't put that game in a parlay. I would not. Broncos and Colts. If the Broncos lose, they're going to be 6-8 versus the Colts. Denver 68. The Colts will be 8-6 versus the Broncos. Broncos 86. Broncos will get that 8th loss in Week 8. This game's, well, I'll just skip to this thing here. Flacco can get his 49th away loss on the 49-date numerology. Flacco can become 2-4 versus the Colts. Colts 24. And Brissett, he does have something going against him, Jacoby Brissett. He's the one concern in this game. But when you look at this ref right here, number 66, who's reffing this game, again, Colts equals 66. You got ref number 66. The Colts are 18-3 with this ref. That is incredible. That means they can get their 19th win in Week 8. 19's the 8th prime. So, to me, that's the cherry on top. I got to ride with the Colts. They got the better riddle on paper, and then the ref just puts it over the top. Broncos, if they lose, will stay on 8 wins with this ref in Week 8 as well. Bengals and Rams. Bengals can get their 8th straight loss. They'll be 0-8 in Wembley Stadium. 80. And let me see. The weird thing about this game was... And don't forget, the Rams can improve to 5-3. Los Angeles 53. They were in Super Bowl 53 last year. The weird thing about this game, though, is how the last time LA played in London was 105 weeks ago. In Cincinnati Bengals equals 105, and the last time the Bengals were in London was 156 weeks ago, and Cincinnati Bengals equals 156. So it's like, why are they paying tribute to the Bengals? That's just the one thing that's got me scratching my head. I was like, why is that synced up with the Bengals? So that would be the shocker. But again, it's going against a streak of 8. I'm not going to do that. There hasn't been a single streak of 8 that's failed this year, and I don't know why they'd fail in Week 8. So Bengals can lose 8 straight. Los Angeles can get to the symbolic 5-3 record, and the Bengals can pick up their 8th loss with this referee as well. Rams can stay on 8 losses with this referee. Cardinals and Saints, again, 2 very Catholic teams. Catholic equals 71. Saints can improve to 7-1. In all likelihood, that's what's going to happen. Cardinals will pick up their 8th loss at the Saints in Week 8. But like I said earlier, I would still do a small parlay with the Cardinals winning because there's a narrative for them to upset. Caller?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing to that Bengals-Rams game. I've seen something with Sean McVay picking up his, I think it's his 37th loss. Or something to that effect. I've seen something with Sean McVay.
If you're going to call him, man, you got to have the stats right. There's no way he can get his 37th loss.
No, not his 37th loss. His 12th. His 12th all-time loss, I believe.
Oh, he could get his 12th loss in the regular season. And what's that?
And if today had 37 numerology, right? Or of the game, right? Has 37 numerology?
Oh, 10 plus 27. 10 plus 27, okay.
Okay, that's what I was looking at. I was just adding that. I seen that. I noted that down. I was in front of my computer. That's why I couldn't figure out what it was.
All right. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, thanks, man. Okay, so it is 10 plus 27, 37. He's saying 37, the 12th prime. You can get the 12th loss on 10-27. I guess I'll make a note about it. But again, streaks of 8, they've been dominant, and Los Angeles getting to 5-3 makes a whole lot of sense. So the riddle for the Cardinals to set the Saints. Well, we know that they're not doing the Ring of Honor thing this week. They're doing the type of ceremony where home teams do get beat. Reggie Bush and Marcus Colston. And so that adds a layer of concern for the Saints. But Breeze is coming back for this game from his fake injury, which we know it's fake. He can get his 165th win. Arizona Cardinals equals 165. Just like how at the beginning of the season he picked up his 156th regular season win. And what was it? Houston Texans is 156. Yeah, Houston Texans. He got 156 versus the Texans. So he can also get his 86th win at home. When you write out 8, it's 86. This ref that's on the field's number 19, big Saints number. But the one thing going for the Cardinals, where did I write it at? If the Cardinals won, they would be 4-3-1. And why that's interesting is 431's the 83rd prime. New Orleans, Louisiana's 83. Football's 83. So, and then that would create the narrative of like, do the Saints need to go back to Teddy Bridgewater? You're the backup. You're the black quarterback, as it's been called. So, anyway, I suspect Saints get it done, but I would do a small parlay with the Cardinals with the games you like. And I'd take them on the money line if you're going to do the dollar parlay because they're a nice payout if they win. So, Jets and Jaguars, I don't want to mess with this game. I can't think of a time a 77 riddle failed with the Jaguars. When it comes up, it normally hits. The Jets could even the series at 7-7. But I just don't trust the Jets right now. I don't know what they're doing with this team. And I think WSU football's playing right now. This game could give us a clue. Yeah, they play tonight. They're probably going to lose. Most games where WSU's lost, Jaguars have won. Minshew went to Washington State. So, again, it's the Cougars' 100th season. But yeah, I'm gonna leave that game alone. If Minshew wins, he's 4-3. Jacksonville's 43. Florida's 43. Football's 43. So, and we also saw that the Jets are 0-8 with this ref. They have never won with this ref. They could stay on 8 losses in Week 8. Jets equals 9 and 18. And the Jaguars are 2-2 with this ref. They could fall to 2-3. Jaguars is 23. 23 is the 9th prime. Jets 9. So. Okay, Panthers at 49ers. It's hard to go against the 49ers the way they're playing, but it looks like the 49ers very well could lose this game. If you look at the home record, okay, Panthers could get the 8th loss all time against the 49ers in Week 8. That is there. But the Panthers could also get the 8th win at the 49ers, dropping the 49ers to 3-8 at home versus the Panthers. Panthers 38. And then Allen, if he wins, he'll become 5-0 away in San Francisco, the 50 city. And if Rivera wins, he'll get his 76th win. San Francisco equals 76 plus their 76 date numerology. Guess I'll bold both of them. And Garoppolo, if he loses, he'll be 14-3. Carolina equals 43. And again, Carolina has a history of doing very well against the 49ers. So I would take the Panthers with the points in this game. That would be the smart move to me. If the Panthers do lose, they would be 4-3. They do have an H though, so Panthers is 43 and 52. I was focused on that 43, but they do have a connection to 52 as well. Panthers face the Titans next week. Titans is 43, but Tennessee's got the 52 connection. So I think Panthers with the points. And then again, Bill Belichick getting his 300th win on the 300th day of the year. I mean, that seems about as strong of a riddle as you could ever get. I think he's going to become the 3rd coach to get to 300 wins. Let me see if that's right. Bill Belichick, 300th win. Yeah, 3rd coach. 3rd coach to get 300 in Cleveland, which equals 33. He will be 3rd coach. So, I mean, I like the Texans against the Raiders at home too. Carr can get the 29th away loss. Texans 29. Watson can get the 19th win in Week 8, 19 the 8th prime. He can become 11-5 at home all time against the Raiders. Raiders 115. And, I like the Texans there. Houston's 2-0 with this ref. Raiders are 3-3 with this ref. Raiders can fall to 3-4 with this ref. Texans 34. So I do like the Texans. Packers and Chiefs. Again, maybe wait until we get the count of games for what the home and away records are for the day. That's been helpful 2 out of the last 3 weeks. Wasn't helpful last week. But if the Packers do win, Chiefs or home teams will fall to 4-4 on Sunday Night Football. If the Packers win, Packers 44, making home teams 4-4. So right now I'm leaning Packers in this game, especially with Mahomes out. And then I just wonder if we have a shocker in store for the Dolphins-Steelers game. But Steelers play really well on prime time, so I don't want to make the same mistake we did with the Bengals. All right, so it's just super fast, the super fast version. Maybe wait for a little bit more information. Wait till the day games are over to do Packers-Chiefs, but I am leaning Packers there. I like the Texans. I like the Patriots. Panthers and 49ers. If you're taking this game, I would take the points with the Panthers. They're a 5.5-point underdog. Jets and Jaguars. Personally, I'd sit out on this game. Jets have a chance to upset. Again, I really can't think of a time where a 77 riddle failed with the Jaguars, and it is right there, but I just don't trust the Jets right now. Cardinals and Saints. I favor the Saints here, but again, I would do a small parlay with the Cardinals, especially with that halftime ceremony they have going on. That is not a Ring of Honor. The Ring of Honor ones don't count, but the ones that they're doing with Reggie Bush, those are the ones where teams get beat. I like the Rams. Bengals 8 straight losses. I like the Colts. Titans and Bucks, very tough, but be careful with this game. Do not put this game in your parlay. If you do take it, I would take the Titans just because the Bucks can lose 8 straight in Tennessee. But man, there's a lot of things when you look at this game where it's just like Tannehill's numbers look terrible. If the 8 straight thing wasn't there, I'd be on the Bucks all day in this game because Tannehill's numbers look right for the loss. Staying on 27 home wins, getting the 19th loss in Week 8. I mean, I almost don't know how he's going to avoid it. But, again, a streak of 8 has not failed. So be careful with this game. Giants and Lions, another tight one. I'm not crazy about this game just because I'm not sure who Daniel Jones is yet. But with the 22-date numerology and the 22 being more favorable for the Giants, I am leaning that way. I'm leaning Giants ever so slightly. Chargers and Bears, another tight one, but because Rivers can get that 55th loss and Lynn the 18th loss, I'm going with the Bears in that one. And Eagles and Bills. Again, Wentz has a nice riddle to win, but I wouldn't put this game in any parlay. I feel like the Bills are going to win it, but man, there's a good riddle there for Wentz to win. And there's a decent riddle for Allen and McDermott to lose too. So I think it's probably better to just stay away from that game. And remember, tomorrow morning I'm going to put out more picks. I'm going to do basketball and hockey tomorrow, so there's going to be more games. There's just so many games right now. You don't got to be greedy. Seahawks and Falcons. Hard to have faith in the Falcons, but I think the Falcons definitely got a shot here. So the riddle looks better for the Falcons. The best thing going for Seattle is to improve to 6-2 just because their next opponent equals 62. But when you look at the QBs on both sides, this makes more sense with the Falcons win. So, use caution on a lot of these games. I'd be real selective this week too. Back-to-back weeks. Or never mind. Last week, it was 2 weeks ago that it was really tight. This week feels a lot like 2 weeks ago where we went even, where we were 6-6 for the week. So be real selective. Caller?
Hey, sweetie, how are you?
I couldn't hear you. Your signal's broken up.
I said, hey, sweetie, how are you? Did you check the Patreon today?
Okay. I can tell that's a troll if he's calling me sweetie. All right. So we'll leave it there. The notes are up. And look for the post in the morning. I'll get the post out in the morning before the game start for hockey and for basketball in case you want to get some last-minute parlays in. So for my guy out there that's going Patriots, Rams, and one other team, again, I went over which games I like, so I'll let you use your intuition. You're doing great to pick which one of the third game you think is the best to throw in there. And then we'll do some more work on Monday Night Football. Okay. And, see. I see Michigan's up on Notre Dame. I think I was thinking Notre Dame could fall to 5-2 in that game. Let me just check that real quick. Because Wolverines is 52. Yeah. Still a lot of game left, but yeah. That Wolverines 52 number. All right, you guys. We'll leave it there. And be back Monday with another live stream. Till next time.